Imagine this. It is 149 BC. A Roman fleet of 200 warships and 50,000 legionaries drops anchor outside the greatest city in Africa. For 3 long years they will choke it, burn it, starve it, and finally storm its walls street by street. When it is over, 500,000 human beings will be dead or in chains. The most magnificent metropolis west of Alexandria will be erased so completely that for centuries people will argue where exactly it stood. They will plow the ground and sow it with salt so nothing ever grows again. This is not revenge. This is genocide with Senate approval. Welcome to the Third Punic War, the war Rome fought because it could no longer sleep at night knowing Carthage still breathed. Everything you think you know about the Third Punic War comes from the people who carried it out and then wrote the only history books. Carthage is already ash. No Punic voice survives. Polybius was literally Scipio Aemilianus' best friend and walked behind him while the city burned. Tonight we're going to tell the story from the side that had no tomorrow, the side that knew exactly what Rome was planning and still couldn't stop it. The peace treaty of 202 BC was designed to be unbearable. Carthage hands over Spain, all islands, its war fleet, its elephants, and pays 10,000 talents of silver, more money than most kingdoms ever see. They are forbidden to wage war outside Africa, and even inside Africa only with Roman permission. Hannibal stays home, becomes Suffete, chief magistrate, pays the indemnity 15 years early, and turns Carthage into the richest grain exporter in the Mediterranean again. Rome watches the city get fat and happy, and absolutely loses its mind. Cato the Elder ends every single speech in the Senate, no matter the topic, with the same 6 Latin words. Carthago delenda est, Carthage must be destroyed. Rome's genius move, they gift the Numidian king Masinissa, all land that once belonged to his ancestors. He spends the next 50 years nibbling Carthaginian territory like a rat. Every time Carthage complains, Rome says, solve it yourselves, but you're not allowed to raise an army, remember? By 150 BC Masinissa has stolen the richest farmland in North Africa and is literally besieging towns 20 kilometers from Carthage itself. Carthage finally snaps. 40,000 citizens grab whatever weapons they still have and march out to fight the Numidians. They lose badly. Rome immediately declares this a breach of the 201 treaty. War is now legal. Spring 149 BC. 2 consuls, Manius Manilius and Lucius Marcius Censorinus, land with 84,000 men, the largest expedition Rome has ever sent overseas. They summon the Carthaginian Senate 5 kilometers outside the city and deliver the most sadistic ultimatum in history. Hand over all weapons, all warships, and 300 noble children as hostages, and Rome guarantees your city will live. Carthage obeys. They stack 200,000 sets of armor and 2,000 catapults in giant piles. Then the consuls smile and deliver phase 2. Now abandon your city and move 16 kilometers inland. Carthage by the sea will be destroyed. You can rebuild anywhere else. That is not peace. That is the death of a 700-year-old civilization. The gates slam shut. The consuls look at each other and say, well, I guess they want war. Carthage has no weapons, no army, no hope. In 30 days the priests melt temple gold, women cut their hair to make bowstrings, citizens turn furniture into shields. They build 120 new warships in secret docks under the forums. The Romans laugh, until those ships sail out and burn half the invasion fleet at anchor. For 2 years the legions cannot even get close to the walls. Hasdrubal, not the famous one, raises 30,000 citizens into a real army. A woman named Sophonisba's granddaughter leads night raids. Rome loses 20,000 men just trying to fill the harbor with rubble. Rome is humiliated. They send the 37-year-old golden boy, Scipio Aemilianus, adoptive grandson of Scipio Africanus, the only man alive who still scares Carthage. He lands, executes deserting officers on the spot, and turns the siege into a slow, methodical murder. He builds a giant mole across the entire harbor mouth, 2 kilometers long, by hand. Carthage is now 100% blockaded. Starvation begins. By winter 147/146 BC, people inside are eating shoe leather, then rats, then the dead. 50,000 civilians try to surrender. Romans let them out, then lock the gates again so the fighters watch their families starve on the other side. Hasdrubal burns his own wife and children alive on a temple roof rather than let them be captured. Scipio weeps, not for Carthage, but because it's taking so long. April 146 BC. The mole is complete. Romans storm the military harbor, then fight house by house toward the Bursa Hill citadel. 6 days and nights of street fighting in burning ruins. Roman soldiers wade through blood up to their ankles. On the 7th day 50,000 remaining Carthaginians, mostly women and children, lock themselves in the great temple of Eshmun. Hasdrubal surrenders and begs at Scipio's feet. His own wife screams, "Traitor," from the roof, slaughters their children in front of him, and jumps into the flames. Scipio orders the city torched. For 17 days Carthage burns so hot ships 20 kilometers out at sea use the glow to navigate at night. 900 Roman deserters had hidden in the temple of Eshmun hoping for mercy. When they realize there is none, they barricade the doors and set the building on fire themselves. They die screaming Latin curses at their own countrymen. Scipio watches the flames and quotes Homer in Greek, "A day will come when sacred Troy will perish." No, they didn't actually salt the earth, that's a 19th century legend. What they did was worse. They sold 55,000 survivors into slavery, forbade anyone to ever live on the site, and cursed the ground in a public ceremony. For 100 years Roman patrols executed anyone caught sleeping overnight in the ruins. Scipio Aemilianus stands on the burning Bursa and cries, not for the dead Carthaginians, but because he suddenly understands Rome has become the monster Hannibal always said it was. Polybius asks him why he's weeping. Scipio answers, "One day the same thing will happen to Rome. Rome won everything and lost its soul." For the next 600 years Carthaginian ghosts haunted Roman literature. Every time a Roman senator got too powerful, someone whispered, "Remember Carthage." Augustus rebuilt the city, as a Roman colony, of course, and made it the second biggest city in the West. But the original Carthage? 700 years of history, art, libraries, language, gone like smoke. Because one city dared to rise again after Hannibal. Drop Caesar vs. Pompey in the comments if you want the full story of the outbreak of the Roman Civil War, and don't forget to subscribe, the bloodshed of Rome is about to start.